So back to what I was saying about me considering like where I learned my behaviors and my emotions from. I think it's such an important question for all of us that are listening to just pause for a second. I know sometimes we feel so rushed throughout our day of we got to do this. I mean, all the goddess, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to, but we don't like stop, pause, breathe, and think. And this is such a beautiful question for everyone to ask. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, as I'm really understanding my own connection with my emotions, because I think as practitioners, healers, coaches, we also have to do the work on ourselves before we can help anyone else. A lot of my own emotional trauma that I have understood about myself, a lot of it has stemmed from family patterns that I learned as a child. So when we come into, thinking about trauma that has happened in the past, it's not particularly the thing that has happened, but it's the emotion that we're feeling still.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of like we go back to those moments, we go back to that emotion. And when we either act out that emotion or we are still stuck in that. So as I'm thinking about, okay, well, what is my own relationship with emotions? Who did I learn my emotions from? A big part of that was learning anger from my father. Within a Vietnamese household, within an Asian family, like you either had happiness or you had anger. There was nothing in between. And at least that was my experience. And so as a child, I learned I express my emotions, and the only ones that are healthy to express is happiness and anger. So the way I dealt with things in my life was either being really happy or being really angry. And so how that ended up leading to health issues in my own life was actually causing a lot of liver issues. Interesting enough. And here's that connection again with the liver and anger in Chinese medicine. I struggled with a lot of hormonal issues. And this was me having hormonal acne and just really feeling not like fully grounded in my emotions, not having control of my emotions, having irregular periods, painful periods, things like that. I was going on and off birth control. And I was going through like a really difficult time with my hormones and balancing my hormones. And I had to not only take a look at my lifestyle, like what were the things I was eating, what was I taking in, physically, mentally, emotionally, what was I taking in? But I actually had to go deep within myself and tap into my subconscious and actually take a look at what emotion that I was feeling about myself. The main thing that I learned specifically about acne was that it's so deeply tied to how we feel about ourselves, the unworthiness that we feel about ourselves, and then also the anger that's kind of deep seated within ourselves. And that anger is actually stored within our liver. So there was a point of time where, I was seeing a master herbalist, I was getting acupuncture, I was doing all the things. My diet was really great. I was like celery juicing all the time. Everything was spot on, but my skin was just not getting better. And of course, this was really difficult, like stifled my own self-confidence and just me being able to just like live my life. It was really a difficult time. And the point that really shifted me, I remember, was me actually like going into the mirror and looking at myself and being like, this health journey that I've been on with my skin, I accept you. I accept everything that comes with you. And I love you regardless to whatever happens, I love myself regardless of how I look, however my skin looks, however I'm feeling. Like, and I had to do a lot of processing around the anger and the things that I had absorbed as a child.
Mhm.
And until I did that, and after I did that whole like mirror practice with myself and just really coming to full acceptance, my skin immediately got better. Like
Wow.
oh, I just remember like my skin cleared, and it's just thinking like, wow, like this is the power of coming back and honoring your emotions, coming back and honoring yourself and your inner child that's still within you, that's like asking for love and acceptance, because that inner child's within all of us.
Mhm.
And until we really connect with that inner child and we allow that inner child to have emotions and to express itself in a safe space, you know, we're really disconnecting from a really important part of ourselves.
Mhm.
And that's what I mean in terms of like coming into right relationship, because I feel that, yes, we can say, I'm experiencing this anger, I'm feeling it, it's going to pass. Yeah, we can have that practice, but it's having this like deeper internal work
Mhm.
that recognizes that emotions are just another part of our body's intelligence, that it's not actually separate from us. We don't have to identify with emotions. We don't have to say, I am anger, hence
Mhm.
I'm an angry person. But we can actually say, anger is an emotional response, and it's my body's intelligence telling me something that I need to look at.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Gosh, I've done some similar work, mirror work, I think is what they call it, or what it
Mhm.
was called when I did it. And I know some people think it's so woo-woo, but my gosh, it is so healing. I don't, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like facing yourself and looking at yourself, looking deep into your eyes. And sometimes it's just I've been in like workshops where we've done this kind of work before, and the women that were in the workshop, myself included, you just hit this like pivotal emotion, this like deep, deep, deep inner knowing, your intuition, whatever, the divine, whatever you want to call it, that just knows. Like we ourselves are always going. We don't stop to know, but there's something within each of us that just knows. And
Mhm.
there's this like deep emotional like state that you can't escape. And there is that little girl that's still within us, that little child that's deep within. And there are, there are wounds, like when you were expressing, the battle that you were having with your skin issues. I faced that as well. And I know there is that like pain. It's a physically painful, emotionally painful thing that we carry with us. And it's almost like this open wound
Mhm.
that we're constantly like dragging this open wound, and we don't want it anymore, but we don't know how to get rid of it. But I think it's, and not only that, but I think in my life, at least what I've experienced is I've shot that back at people in like the most negative way, but it wasn't their pain to feel, it was my pain to heal. It was like my pain to like to close it, to like sew it up, to heal it, to like love and nurture it. And I think that's such a beautiful lesson for so many of us, for everybody, to just pause, like look deep within yourself, accept and love who you are. And I think that, little by little, it's like the external stuff, the skin stuff, but then deep down, you build this confidence and you move throughout your life and you have this like wisdom and inner knowing. And I think that's beautiful, because I think that kind of it leaves a lasting effect with other people, that you heal yourself, so you walk differently in your life, you live your life differently, you eat, you treat yourself better, you don't eat the Oreos, maybe you grab the celery instead. Like you do things that your body is going to thank you for. It's this like healthy cycle, it's a healthy relationship. And then that, I imagine, in the work you do, spreads to every other aspect of your life, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I feel that what we go through gives us the experience and the wisdom to help others and to hold space for others.
Mhm.
I think in that whole health journey that I went through, and still it's an ongoing process. I don't think it ever stops. I think we're always constantly improving and getting better. But at the same time, we're whole. We're actually moving more towards that wholeness. And what Gabor Mate would say, the essential self, what I would say, the Soulthentic self, the true essence of who you are. I
Mhm.
believe that it's all within us.
Mhm.
It's just taking the time, it's taking the vulnerability, it's slowing down, it's coming back to the yin. It's, saying, maybe I don't need to go and do so much and get that car or get that job to actually feel good in my body, to feel good about myself. And I think that this is stemmed a lot from the things that we've learned as a child, the things that we've just taken in as we've grown up, from society and culture and things like that. It's about coming back to our own true inner guidance, our own true, um, what you said, your intuition, like what your body's actually telling you, because your body has this wisdom, right? And just going back to the emotions within Chinese medicine, when we respect our emotions, we're indirectly saying, I respect my organs. I respect the function of my organs. I respect my heart by honoring this emotion. I respect my anger. And I'm also saying that emotions have such a powerful role in our day-to-day life. For example, if someone steps over your boundary, it's okay to get angry. It's actually healthy to say stop,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so it's about saying, I want to come into right relationship with my emotions. I want to make that intention. So what can I do about it? How can I respect my emotions and actually slow down? And by then respecting your emotions, you are also respecting your body. That's the connection I'm really making here, is that this mind body connection is really bridged by your emotions, I feel. And where we've kind of lost connection to was from our emotions. And
Mhm.
so, you know, it isn't so much about who taught us what, who taught us that. It's just about coming back into the present and saying, well, how can I shift this pattern? How can I operate and act differently when this emotion comes up? And
Mhm.
that's when we make those small changes. For example, for me, I still, feel angry sometimes. And when I'm in certain conversations or the things come up, you get triggered, you're a human, it happens.
Mhm.
It's really coming back to the practices that help you anchor into that. For me, it's been breath work, meditation. Journaling has been such an amazing practice for me. Shamanic journeying as well, and coming back into that spiritual guidance that I feel that is you tapping into your own spirit self. I mean, we can really get woo woo with this because I love talking about that.
Mhm.
But coming back into the true essence of you and whatever practice that does for you, that helps to anchor you back. And um, I think also when we're triggered, I feel like a part of your frontal brain shuts off because you can only see that emotion when you're feeling that. You're like, oh man, I'm so angry, or I'm so like sad. And you
Mhm.
kind of use certain coping mechanisms, but
Mhm.
it's about shifting into more healthy behaviors, healthy patterns, whether it's going to exercise, doing breath work, taking your space, going into nature, jumping into water, making that really, really huge shift for yourself in your physical body as well. That
Mhm.
can also help to shift your emotions and your relationship with your emotions. So,
Uh,
yeah.
you just answered my question. I was going to ask, what do people do? Like, what are the first steps for someone listening that's maybe frustrated with work, or they're stressed out in a relationship, or they just feel like it's an endless cycle, for someone that's interested in, yeah, like, I mean, aside from the steps we mentioned, is there anything specific that you feel like works so well with most people. And I know everyone is so different. Everyone has their individual characteristics and issues, but challenges that we all face. Is there something that you feel like this is like the initial first step for someone that's maybe curious about the work you do, that might be curious about working with you? Yeah, what is there anything specific that might come to mind?
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you for asking this. I believe that people come to me at different stages and different paths. And so when we're speaking specifically about coming to right relationship with your emotions, that process is really about meeting with your the highest version of yourself and what that looks like for you and building what that looks like. And then also meeting your shadow aspect, meeting the parts of you that you often don't like to share with people, the parts of you that do get angry or jealous or, really hostile, or, all those emotions that we try to hide and we don't own. And then it's also meeting with your inner self. And so I have been actually holding people in journeys to experience all those parts of themselves in that safe container. And I feel like that's where really big healing comes into place. And those can be essentially guided journeys, guided meditation journeys, or they can be really deep shamanic journeys as well, where we are actually held in a sacred space with spirit. And I also do other services that point you towards your own highest potential. For example, astrology is a really big modality that I love using that speaks specifically to this is why you were incarnated or born right now in your life. And these are the different pieces. These are the different planets, and like their placements actually tell you this is how you can reach and embody your highest potential. So I have so many different ways that I can help people and hold space for people. So reaching out to me through my website, Lin Embodied, LINH embodied.com, or just reaching out to me through Instagram, just asking me and having that open conversation.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yes, everyone listening should absolutely reach out to you. I just feel like listening to you, your voice is so soothing, like your energy. You can always sense when someone is centered and in that right relationship with themselves, and you are walking your talk 100%, because I feel that in everything you do and everything you share. And yeah, it was so beautiful having you on the podcast today, and so grateful for your time and your energy and your knowledge and your expertise. And yeah, I'm excited to learn more from you and continue to see your journey as you graduate, and hopefully have you again on the podcast and share more stories. And
Definitely.
yeah, is there any last few words you want to share with the community, or anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, Violet, for creating this space for me to share about the wisdom of Chinese medicine and just being you as well. You're so inspiring doing all the things that you're doing, being a mother and just being you. And to anyone listening who really resonates with what I've shared and feels that this conversation is extremely potent, I would say that it all starts with being compassionate yourself in moments of triggered, when you're triggered and when you're angry or when you're feeling really emotional, being easy on yourself, being compassionate for yourself in that moment, and finding the support that can hold that sacred space for you. Because I think that we're social beings. We're meant to actually co-regulate and support each other and help each other during these difficult moments that we're going through, and that you're not alone in it. There's someone out there that has gone through what you're going through. So yes, that's my message. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Violet, for having me. Thank you for everyone that listened and tuned in.
Thank you. What a beautiful message. Thank you so much.